So when it's time for payment and following up on things, people were, so I'm like, why? Like, sort me. So some mentors that I have at the time, they were like, you cannot be doing this sophisticated high level thing in your name like that. You know, it has to be a limited liability that can sue people, you know. It has, because there are tax issues, I don't know, nobody will take you serious. And I'm like, okay. So in 2006, I incorporated my first company, Equinox Nutakor Limited, and made eCampus a product of it. Then I realized that the way people were treating me changed. Because now it's a company, and I'm a CEO, I really mind, that kind of stuff. Then the Ghana Multimedia Incubator came up. So Dorothy Gordon from the Kofi Annan Center, ICT Center, called and said, look, take that your small business to the incubator, learn how to become a business manager and not just a programmer or a developer or a networking guy. So that transition from being a geek, a techie, to a business guy happened through those incubations, the trainings we were getting. They gave us office at High Street. You know, you have to work out files, you know, you have to give what job descriptions. I'm like, what is all this? So that process. But then the more I was doing that, the more people were respecting what we were doing. They pay on time. They don't argue.
So they're no longer dealing with a person. They're
So I realized that, so all this while, because we're dealing with me, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll do a company. You know, so it wasn't something like, yeah, I want to have a company now. So as we were evolving, people wanted to invest in the business. Not because they like all the things Equinox was doing, because we're doing quite a lot of things. Because they like eCampus. So I go, okay, some Cameroonians, some Americans, or everybody was, this is the future. I'm like, okay. So if you guys want to invest in just eCampus and not the whole Equinox, because Equinox, we're doing a lot of things, fiber to the home, we're doing home automation, we could develop software for you, we're doing stuff, you know. But then if that's the case, let's separate eCampus. Let's take it from being a product to a company.
A fully fledged company.
So that happened between 2014 and 2015. So technically, eCampus was incorporated in 2015 of December.
Right.
So it's younger than the journey, although he has that journey. So we separated it, and then a lot of people put in money. You know, now we have a board. We are like, it's a proper business now. You know?
That's not something many entrepreneurs can say.
And it takes it. It's not like I knew all this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I didn't know, it just happened. But you take advice from some mentor. One of my most effective mentor is my grandfather, my mother's uncle, right? Blessed memory, Lawyer Abebio, Victor. Anyway, like he made me understand things at the time I didn't know what he was trying to do to me. But now I sit back, I'm like, that was it. Right? As early as 2006, 2007, when I ventured out into this, everybody was like, go get a job, go get a job. Why did you stop the regent job? Why did you stop this job? Like, no, I want to build my own thing, because if I'm dealing with it, he was the only one who said, go ahead and do this. I remember in 2007, we organized our first board meeting. He was the board chair at Smith Guest House. He rented the place. We appointed people. And I'm like, what's the meaning of this? Like, he made me 2 minutes. Twice every week, we will meet at the Stanchart Clubhouse. Now that they built this, now they built some big office there. We meet there, people playing tennis. You sit down with me, all his lawyer friends, trying to tell me what I need to do, corporate governance. I'm like, what is that? Make sure everything you have a written document. He was just telling me stuff. Today, those things have piled up and has given us some deeper understanding of how to run a business. So, yeah, I give that credit to him all the time. Like, he made me become a good business leader without telling me what he was trying to make. For me, I just I'm with my grandfather, and you know, and
just giving you a series of advices.
When I'm going, I'll get some money. That'll be also. Every 2 weeks, I'll go and look for him. You sit 2 hours with him, talk. He'll show you some cases he's working on. how some two partners, they were even friends for almost 20 years, and now they are fighting over some money that has come. Like, oh, but me, I can fight with my friends. You don't know. That's what money can do. So from the very beginning, be very transparent about where money is coming, where it's going. Treat your employees as your own children. Will you watch your children go hungry? So no, I'll let them eat before I eat. Treat your employees like that. Those petty things, I didn't realize it was like embedded in me. Now I make some decisions and I go, daddy way, tell me this thing way. And I'm so convinced, I'm like, no, this is how I want us to do it. And they'll be like, where from this? I'm like, I just feel like that's what. Later I'll think,
this is where the idea came from.
Tell me those things. So that's how the transition happened for me, you know. And I like the people I look up to, I like to involve them in the things I'm doing. Be transparent. Most of the time, the advice will give you, it punches you, right? But that's the truth.
You have to do it.
You know, then you go, you think about it, read around, come back to them slowly. And that's how we've been able to do that transition. It's there's no formula to it. You know, everybody will have their own, but just be conscious of the fact that you're trying to build something that will last beyond you. Because I remember very well, 2008, I came across the word founder syndrome. And that has stuck with me all my life. You know, founder syndrome, where if you don't work on that, when the founder dies, the business dies. The succession plan should be something that's intentional. It could take 20 years for the person you are preparing, a group of people, to sit in your shoes when you are dead. How many startups are conscious of that? Even how many organizations? And from 2008, those were my worries. Because I sit with my grandfather, and those are the kind of things he'll be discussing with you. You ask you, so all the people I'm working with today, if you are no more, who can do everything you are doing? I'm like, only Joel. But Joel, his interest is in entertainment, so I don't think you can do it. So you don't have a company. Daddy, you don't have a company until you have 2-3 people that can do what you do when you're not there. Forget it. You are wasting time and money. But Daddy, go and figure it out. Those kind of
the things that he was telling you then.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. So yeah.
I can see he was very instrumental in your journey.
Very, very
and to see where you came from, how instrumental he was, and now that you're leading an organization, there are a few things I would want to pick apart and be precise about. So, what would you say if you had to look back from the past to now, are the things that have made you, say, a successful business leader? I won't use the word entrepreneur, business leader. You're leading an organization now with people, with staff on the payroll, you have investors, you have a whole board. As a business leader, what are the things that have made you successful? I understand the early influence of your grandfather was one of them, right? But aside from that, as a business leader, what has made you been able to achieve all of this?
I think, if I say honesty, that would be too broad, but
I'll be happy if you will go through the list.
Yeah, so being okay that I don't know. Accept, I don't know. Yeah, some people may put it in fancy ways, Steve Jobs would say, only hire people who are smarter than you. All those statements are afterthoughts. But when it's really happening, that was not what you were thinking. I'm just okay to say I don't know. I don't know. Can you help? Can you show me? Oh, this one I know. And the ones I know, you know that I know. Mm-hmm. If I don't know, I don't know. The fact that you're a business leader doesn't mean that you have to know everything and fake it and start saying some random things just to keep,
the persona.
Yeah.
So would you say that's humility? Will humility be a right word?
Yeah, you can use those words, but no, those words have very different meanings at different streets. So I like to say the raw thing.
Raw things, yeah.
I don't know. And I think that is okay. I'm able to do that openly because I failed 3 times in a home, firstborn, high expectations. So what else do I have to lose if I tell you I don't know? I don't know. Mm-hmm. So subconsciously, I have already gone through the worst of being a failure. Like, I don't know. So what is wrong if me and my colleague are working and they come expecting that you should have all the answers, and you tell them blankly, I don't know. Let's figure it out. It creates some kind of respect between you and your colleagues. All right, you're not the all-knowing, all supernatural,
all-knowing
you're
leader,
not CEO, so what? You're a human being first. So they are more relaxed. Everybody is more open. We know we can all make mistakes and fix it. There's no tension. It has to be like this. It has to be like that because CEO is coming. CEO is coming. He said, you don't know. So what's the problem? So it's more of a collaborative. We are all brainstorming. We are all looking for solutions. That's why I think we were able to attract the likes of Lucy Quiz, David Ofosu Docte, Erikosi Akwan, you know what I mean, on our board. Because that I remember 2019, January board meeting. Like, they tore down everything. Lucy, David, Eric, Ian, they tore down everything. And this was like, no. This is not going to work. So next week we have a strategy session. And I'm like, okay, 2 days. Spent almost the whole day. I'm like, strategy session, okay. SWOT analysis, what's this, what's that? Look at the experience in that room. Don't come and do your body and, no, then you won't learn, you won't go anywhere. Forget, you don't know. Let them teach you. We did all of that, and up to today, we did strategy from 2019 to 2023. And we follow those things, make critical decisions. Look, one important one was in our threats. In that session, we realized that one of our key threats was AWS, our hosting service. If we are unable to pay those bills, eCampus doesn't exist. Because what are they? The app is there, it sits there. You download the app, everything else sits on AWS or your host, whoever your hosting is. If you can't pay that bill and they cut you down, your company doesn't exist. Forget the 3-story building or the skyscrapers you have, the number of cars you branded. You are dead. It took those strategy sections for us. So now okay, how do we make sure we never run out of AWS? So we started going for competitions, startup competitions to win AWS credits. So when you see us going for this competition in the US, in South Africa, in Egypt, it's not because we want to sit in a tube and fly. It's even boring. I'm tired of that. But you know that if I can secure $35,000 worth of AWS credits, I don't need to worry about putting my hard-earned money into that.
Into that, yeah.
And you know that for the next 6 years or 6 months or 4 years, your company still exists. People can still interact with your app. If we didn't do those strategy sessions, you'll be there one day and say, yeah, we don't have money. AWS give you 30 days notice. Pew, it's gone. The company is dead. They're not running around. You know, most people are not even, people don't even budget to renew their domains. So when their domain go and they tell them, what happened? I have to renew their domain. And so for 3 days, their website is down. Not because they just couldn't plan that that's a threat to their business. So these little things, those guys are not developers. They know nothing about AWS. So if I have come in, I say, we are the guys.
Yeah, the guys. We
would have been there, and there are times things are hard. 6 months in a row, there will be no revenue. But you're still up there. It works. Why? Because you thought about it a year ago and strategized. And I remember that call. Ian called his friend Henry in South Africa. Erikosi Akwan also called somebody in the US. We told them this is our situation. We don't want to have AWS problems. They're like, okay, you can get up to $100,000 worth of AWS credits. But this is how you go about it. So yeah. And even going forward, one of our investors, Divine, when Divine was joining as an investor, we all agreed as a board that Divine's card will be put into AWS, Google, Fireworks, all those things you pay, so that instead of bringing us the money,
the
cash,
investment
should be deducting it so that we know that we don't. It's a strategy.
Came out from the board. So I'm actually making a list while you're speaking. The first one you spoke about humility, and then you also mentioned your collaboration
Yeah, you
and a
need to work with
collaborative
people.
learning, and I see experimentation there also. So I'll bottle all of that down as your leadership style,
Yeah, yeah,
perhaps.
maybe, yeah.
So your leadership style, and then how maybe it got you to be humble, how it got you to make the whole team collaborative and open towards experimentation.
Exactly.
Because we are not here saying we know it all. We don't know
No,
it all. So
we
let's
don't know. So
experiment.
let
Let's
us
find
figure
out.
it
Let's
out.
collaboratively
Yeah.
and figure it out. So I'll put down the leadership, right? And then the second thing I'm hearing is I'm trying. That's the word. So I'm not sure whether it's the mentors or the board. The essence of having a board early on. We had another interview with another gentleman that was citing how the board were also the mentors.
Yeah,
So he
yeah, they're
always
the
went to.
mentors, yeah.
So it's like for me, it's the board slash mentors.
Yeah, so they
Because
start as mentors and then you appoint them onto your
evolves
board.
into the board. Yeah.
So we have 3 layers. So I have my personal board. These are my mentors who mostly graduate to the advisory board of the company and end up on the main board. So if you look at my advisory board, there are a lot more people there than even the board. And there are times where people switch. For example, when Lucy got the Morgan Stanley appointment in London to go and work there, she can't be active on the board. So she switched back to the advisory board and we moved Suzanne to the main board, right? But they still work. So, yeah, having those, because these are people you cannot pay them salary. I mean, you can't. Tell them the vision, let them buy into it, and let them know that it's not like you don't know everything. It's still an idea. So be open. Let them guide you. Experiment with what they see. Show them the results. Feedback. Slowly.
So leadership and then the board. And there's another interesting thing that you mentioned there. You can't pay them. You can't afford to put them on your payroll, but they bring
How are you going to pay
resources.
Sidumisu? The person was CEO of SEO Africa. They just like you. They want to help. Right? And for me, I'm not putting you there as a mentor on the board for PR. No. It's a working board. Look, they work. These people put in time and work. On average, they're doing almost 13 hours a week working on eCampus. Because you give them feedback. You discuss daily things with them.
So, okay. Aside the leadership that you spoke about and then the board, what other things do you think has made you a successful business leader?
I don't know if I'm a successful business leader, but from what I know, it's something I learned from Ghanaians, our culture, and I don't like it, so I try not to be like that. No is no. Yes is yes. It's very difficult for most of the people I play around with. So whether the team or no, like it's no, I won't do it. Instead of, oh, you come next week. Oh, let's see, I've traveled. Look, tell me, don't waste my time. When I come to you, I'm like, oh, this is what I want us to do. We can do this, do this. Okay, oh, go and bring a proposal. I'm like, no, don't bring one proposal. Do you agree to the thing? What are your inputs? So that when I'm doing the proposal, I will go somewhere. Or you go and bring proposal. You go and bring the proposal. They've not even read it. That's it. Or you come next week. I don't like that thing. So those who know me very well, they should tell us he's a no-nonsense guy. I'll tell you my mind, you can go, like, and so what? Like, there are 6 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. I don't expect anybody to like me, so what's your problem? Right? So instead of trying to, maybe tomorrow I'll talk to you.
Dilly-dallying
You are
about the
wasting
truth.
time, resource, creating, like, anger. I go hate you in the end. But when you come the first day, say, so you know what? It won't fly. So you forget about it. Maybe you can come back next year or next 2 years. I respect you. And next 2 years, I'll come back sending newsletters where we've gotten to, how you can get it. And then mostly, by the 4th year, I get the deal. Cecil, for example, one of my investors, Cecil first met me at Ashase University, right? The next day, because I went to give a talk. The next day, he passed here, picked me up, went again. Showed interest. 6 years' time, he came to university. Did you get the point? He told you not now. So I like people like that, and I try to be like that. But sometimes it doesn't work. People get angry.
to see yourself as one running a company, be at the helm of a company, what do you think is making you do it right? Or at least has kept you throughout these years? Because you've been around, you've been doing this for so long.
Almost 20 years, necessarily 20 years.
I want to be able to have like students look at you, or I want to have other entrepreneurs look at you and be like, okay, these are the things that has made him successful, so I can also go and do the same. You've given me 3. Like, are there any others that you think would have?
I think that what keeps us going, that's another thing. I hardly do me. It's not me. I'm just playing a very minute role in this whole establishment. So what keeps us going is consistency. You can only achieve consistency when there is somebody you need to give feedback to. So if you are the helm of an organization and you don't put people around you, structures around you where you need to give feedback, you can't be consistent.
Right.
It's like you're giving feedback to only yourself. Everybody else comes to give you feedback. Who do you give feedback to? Did you get it?
Yes, I
So you need to have a feedback loop to be able to maintain consistency.
Consistency in the organization.
Through consistency comes sustainability and growth. But without consistency, you won't make the mistakes, you won't learn the curve to become sustainable. And with sustainability comes growth. Right? So feedback is very important. Right? And that's also at the core of our product. That what learners need more feedback than they need teaching.
That's deep.
Because if we give you that feedback, that intelligence on your own learning behavior, nobody will tell you. You will put in more effort. Because this thing is staring at you. Right? So the same when you are working with colleagues, you are trying to build something, feedback is very important. Right? So some of the time I wake up and all the work I do is just phone calls. I don't even open my laptop, phone calls, feedback. Okay, last week we did this, what happened? Have you checked on this? Okay, me too, I've checked on this. So, like, it looks like these two, there'll be a conflict. Okay, then let's call Kwame and see what Kwame will say about this. Then we'll call. 8 hours straight, just calls like
calls
that.
And calls, yeah.
Okay, then let's call Akosia at AB and David to see what she will say. So by the end of the day, when you are making that final decision, it's so rich. And whoever contributed is waiting for feedback again. And if you give them that feedback in a week's time, the next week they take you more serious, they see your consistency, and they are willing to even help more, even for zero money. People want to be important in your life. People want to be significant in your life. If you don't give them feedback on what you are doing, how would they contribute to feel that they are significant in your life?
Very interesting.
So those are the kind of things that
you think has sustained you?
Yeah, really, really sustained that. And I think it still goes back to being accepting fundamentally that you don't know anything. That's the difficult part. It's a bit easier for me now because I've failed so many times that I see failure as a bouncing castle, like a place to
for you to springboard,
not a place to just
end that. Yeah, it's part of the process, part of the journey.
So that feeling that I've lost. I don't know. I go out with my friends. I like to play the pool, the pool table, the snooker pool table, and I go and we'll play the whole night. And they'll tell you, today you don't win any game. I'm like, I didn't even realize. And there are people when they lose a game, you could see in their demeanor they are so angry about themselves. I'm like, I didn't even notice I didn't win. I was just enjoying myself because winning and losing, I don't see the difference. Right? And I play that game mostly because it helps me in decision making. Because you lose something, you're like, I should have played this ball first. So that the white ball would have gone here. Then bad decision. Right? And you will never get the balls like that again. But at least you know that so next time when I'm coming to play, I have to make 2, 4, 5 decisions. Then take, it worked, okay.
This one, yeah.
And what I realized is that most of the obvious decisions that you should have taken, but you want to impress people, you take some complex one. If it goes in, they cheer you up. If it fails, you lose the entire game. And I'm like, so it's the same thing. You change this contract, you are doing this business, you are going to meet this person, you are negotiating this. This is so obvious. But you want to feel important, I'm serious, you are doing some complex thing, then the whole deal collapses. So they go for the obvious. So I've learned that from the game. So whether I won or I lost, I'm family.
Just to.
But somebody just to win, so they're angry, I lost. So if we can work on that, if we can have a different perception of what failure is and what success is, I think it will help a lot of us.
Very interesting. That's quite profound. You know, I want to transition a bit into the finances because, you see, with startups here, they going about their business, they go at products, but most startups end at the capital stage or the finance stage. When you speak about yourself, it seems to me that you started early and you had a beta or a digital prototype of sorts, and that sort of was so valuable enough for you to have some early adapters, which brought in revenue early on. So you've not really faced that finance barrier.
So there is the finance barrier. It's always there, even in Silicon Valley, it's there. But it is your perception about it. So backstage, I was telling you that it's not really startup is not really about money. It's not really about finances, right? But you still need money, all right? When was the last time you actively remember that you were briefing?
Right.
Like when you stop briefing, you die, right? But we don't wake up and, am I briefing? No. So that's money in a startup or in any business. It's important. It's there. If you don't have it, you die. But you don't wake up thinking of, okay, I have to brief. I'm briefing. No, nobody thinks about that anymore. Some of us even extended to food before we were like, oh, I haven't eaten. But if you don't eat continuously, you will die. Yeah. So that's money. But if you put all the focus on it, your decisions will be affected. Because all your decisions will be around, how do I get in the money? How do I get in the money? And most people who think that way never get the money, because they will ask you, what are you going to use the money for? How would that money turn around to pay me back 5x? You didn't think about that. You're just focused on the money, the money, the money. All right? So what worked for us is that we like to show you the thing. Like, I like that thing, show you the thing. That this is it. This is how it works. It could get better. We could tweak it to suit you.
But
what do you think? You want to try it for a while? Okay. How much did it cost to build that prototype? Microsoft Access and floppy disk. Like, really? You need $200,000 investment to do that? No. So you give the diskette to somebody. He plugs it in, internet cafe. He tries. He was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, the diskette was 1.44 megabytes. So you could take only, 5 years of past questions. Oh, I want 90 this, I want 90 that. So more diskettes. Okay, buy it. You want the colored, the yellow and green one, that's premium. The standard black diskette is standard. So it brought in some value immediately. I'm like, okay. I'm not going right for the fourth time. I have a business, like I have something good. So if you can show that this is what I'm doing, this is how it works, it's most likely the person, even they don't even need it, know somebody who needs it. Or will be very impressed and say, okay, I want to support you. And then mostly to the support that is more critical is not money. What are you going to use the money for? If you can be clear on that, you can find people who do that for you.
Do that for you.
For pro bono. And in the future, it will still be valued as though you invested that kind of money.
Okay.
Did you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So understanding what you want to do, your next steps, is very important. And that was plays into strategy. Most of my colleagues are so fixated on the money and we need cash and we need investment. I'm like, no. Nobody will give you money when you are desperate and it's obvious you need it. People only give you money when they say that you have a path. Your money will come slowly. But if I give you money, it will come faster. Maybe it will take 10 years for you to become a unicorn. But if I pump in money, it will probably take you 5 years. Because what you're doing is going to work anyway. It's just going to take a longer time. So let me help this young man shorten the time. Then they'll give you money. Until then, nobody will give you money.
It seems to me that you preach, okay, be valuable, have value, have a tangible, valuable proposition or a unique one of sorts, and then their funds will
Everything
flow
will come. People want to work with you. You know, I mean, companies want to use your product. Investors want to give you money. People want to give you their time. People want to be associated with you. Because it seems like there is a plan.
There's a
and
plan
they can see where this is going.
So would it be fair to say that, you know, these companies or startups that are struggling to attract early on investors, perhaps it's because their value proposition is not unique enough?
I won't use the word unique. I feel that it has not been well communicated.
Right, not well communicated. Okay.
You need to spend a lot of time communicating your value. And you cannot communicate what people cannot experience. So you talk and talk and talk and talk. Do not remember anything.
Right.
So show them the thing. Lock yourself in the room and build your MVP. Very basic. And give it to people. They will do the talking for you. I was at AITI demonstrating my prototype, and the university provost got wowed. And that's how I got a university education. Like, I was just doing my thing. I was like, we need this, we need this. Did you get the dynamics now?
I get it. So early on for a startup, that's perhaps what it will look like. But as an organization or a business now, how do you manage, you know, the cash flow, droughts, and the finance gap? Because oftentimes businesses will have their receivables, payables. So like, what's your own approach to financial management that other entrepreneurs can learn from?
Transparency. Everybody should know that we have one city left. Trust me.
But won't it demoralize staff to want to leave?
Then they are not meant to be there.
Okay.
Because that's the truth. We are broke. We have only one city left in the account. The month has ended. What should we do? Because all the effort we put in didn't bring in any revenue. Right? And the equity cycle is not yet there for them to bring their investment. So what do we do? Don't keep that to yourself. You will die.
You know, in our part of the world, in Ghana, where most sole proprietors, most entrepreneurs,
why are you killing yourself?
they don't open up about the finances of the business.
Let everybody know transparency. It's not your money, it's for eCampus. The salary eCampus pay, that one is your money. That one you can cover it and not let anybody know. You want to be a unicorn, you want to be on the stock exchange, where you have to publish in newspaper, then you can't even tell your employees why you can never be unicorn. I'm like, are you kidding me? You want to IPO, which is the
you have to publish
M&As,
audited reports and everything.
New companies, you know what I mean? You want to raise $2 million, and you don't want to tell the person working with you every day that we have 2 cities. Then how will you be able to publish
your reports on them?
That's not your culture, so you can never be an IPO. So transparency, for me, that is very key. It is not your money, it's for the company. So everybody who works for that company has a right to know how much is there, so that they can manage their expectations. So when there is money, there is money. We always spend it. Everybody gets what they deserve. When there is no money, there is no money. We go and work and bring the money and pay ourselves.
But they will still get their paychecks at the end of the month.
There is no money, so the company owes you. And the company owes me more than even you. You know how long the company has owed me salaries? If the company wants to pay me all my back pay, I'm a millionaire in dollar terms, and I'm serious about it. But the company doesn't have the capacity yet. But soon it will have the capacity to pay me all those back pays. And I can do whatever I want to do with it. So do you also want to have the kind of back pays? And then convert some to what? Equity, to get a stock option? Then you're becoming more part of the business. What's the point when your eCampus becomes a unicorn and those who worked with us to make a unicorn are just on salary and they walk away? No, they need to have at least, even if you have 0.2%, at unicorn, that's $1 million. You're okay. Then you can decide that at least my sweat and toil and all the hard work, this, I can cash out this money and go and buy any house I want, anything I want. Transparency is very important. If you don't do that, then you will be in a room like pulling your hair and no. Why do you want to do that?
this is leading me into the how your approach to human resource management, the way you manage finance. Okay, let's be transparent about it. Let everybody know it, so that we all go through it together. We win together, we lose together. Right. So, how do you go about finding and retaining talent? Right. Because you want to make sure that the people that wait before you give shares in a company to somebody, you want to know that they are the right person or they are going to stick around.
Yeah.
So what's your approach to finding and retaining talent, especially in this labor market?
Yeah. So look, I don't have a formula, but this is what has worked for us since 2014. Okay. So in the beginning, between 2012, 2013, 2014, I was working with friends, people that I grew up with within the IT space and all of that. But in 2014, something dramatic happened. Because we were friends, all right, productivity was very low. People were not meeting their targets, their deadlines. And when you get angry about it, like, they just make it friendship thing. So I remember Ngo Mocho, right, who is one of our investors, in 2014 came in and put pressure on us to provide a new version of our MVP, based on which he can help us. Because that time we didn't have a mobile app, it was just web. So we needed a mobile app, so we had to do an MVP that can run on a phone, right?
Right.
And that was, he told us this in July, and he'll be in Ghana in November. If we can show him that, he was going to inject $10,000. We're like, okay. So my boys, they didn't do the work lab. It didn't happen. I was so frustrated. So I called Pakojo, who's one of my friends, and I was like, Charlie, this thing, Pakojo was like, look, these are your friends. They have kids. They need money now. So your work, they will do small and go and run them a body. And they have every right to do that. Go look for young boys who are in the university, who want to do something, and drive them. I'm like, okay. So I told my co-founder, Joel, he used to work at YFM at the time. So he announced that eCampus, we are looking for developers. So anybody can apply. We got about 400 people who
Wow.
applied. Then I said, okay, tell everybody to send me a link to an app they've done on the App Store and the Play Store. And the number dropped to 6. Send me a link to an app you have done.
As a developer.
Have you seen one can develop for you? Because we do for you. Send me a link to an app you have done on the App Store, Play Store, BlackBerry World, and Windows Store those days. For 406 people. And even out of the 6, only one had done something for iOS. The rest all were Android. So we're like, okay, we're not too happy. Then a call came. That, I saw your advert, I heard it, but I want to show whether you are legit. I'm like, okay, interesting guy, right? Yeah, where's your office? How long have you been in business? I'm like, oh, interesting. Wow, okay. All right, so what do you do? So we just finished the interview, but the way they interview me there, I like it. So you send me a link to what apps you've done. So I cut the call, walk back to my computer, and this guy have sent me a link. And the guy, he has like 8 apps on all the stores, and he have 5-star ratings. I'm like, okay, he's a cool guy. And we called him back, like, okay, we want to have a meeting with him on Monday. He said he's not available on Monday. He'll come on Friday. I'm like, okay, this is my kind of guy. You know, so Friday he came, we spoke. We're like, oh, we're under pressure, we want to just do so. He said, no, we are going to build native from scratch. I'm like, yo, I know that, but he said, no, why you want to, we'll build native from scratch. I'm like, okay. So how is going to help you? Oh, I have my 2 friends back in school. Today he's at CTO, and he's been at CTO since 2014.